Hi, some of my students asked me to tell them about the laptops and PC, whatever I use at home to do my work, and the printer. So I just thought I'd give you a review of what I have and what I've had before. As you can see, I've got two HP laptops. I'll tell you the differences between them. I use both of them regularly, and I have a Brother all-in-one printer, scanner, fax and everything else, email, everything you want in one piece. HP laptops I found they are quite resilient, and they've worked well for me anyway. I've had Dell, I've had other laptops, Acer, all those kind of things, but I found these have worked well for me, and I haven't had any issues with them. This one, no, this one was bought in 2013 or 12 or 13. So it's been quite a few years, and I've had no issues with it. It's been working fine. This one is also HP, but this one is HP Pavilion B&O, Windows 10, 17 inches screen, same 17 inches screen. The difference is this one is Ryzen 5 Radeon, and the processor, the hard drive, is SSD, solid state device. So there is no hard disk, actually any physical movement inside the laptop, and you can't hear anything moving. There is no moving object there. So these are more solid, if you like, and there's less possibilities of anything going wrong with the hardware as far as that is concerned. But at the same time, it is a lot faster than this, because I do a lot of rendering, videos and audio rendering and all those kind of things. So that works well for me. It takes let's say if I had a video of 2 hours video, let's say if I had a video and I wanted to render it, and the length of the video is half an hour, this would take approximately an hour to render, but this one would be probably maybe 20 minutes or 25 minutes or even less. And when you look at the system information, this is what you need to do when you want to buy a PC or a laptop. What you need to do, just go over here. So this is what you do if you're looking to buy a PC or a laptop. Just go to system information. If you just type in the search information, that area, just system information will come up, and you can see the information there. Anything you need to know about that, the hard drive, the memory, the speed, the processor, everything you need to know, the graphic, whether there's a graphic card there or not, whatever you want to know is there. So whatever they tell you in the store, or wherever you want to buy it from, you need to verify that from here, because you can't just go by what they say. Anyway, the main part is here for me, because I do a lot of rendering. I need to have a good speed of processor. I don't do a lot of downloading videos and stuff. I do watch them, but I don't do that. I do streaming, live streaming and those kind of things, so I need a good speed. However, this is the older laptop I'm showing you at the moment here. The processor is AMD. AMD is a good one if you're looking at any laptop. If the processor is AMD, that's usually faster than the other types, no matter what the speed is. In comparison, let's say this is 2000 megahertz or or 2200 megahertz, and another type which is not AMD is the same 2200 megahertz. I would go with AMD because that's faster. So anyway, it's there all the information. 2200 megahertz, 4 cores, 4 logical processors, and memory. It's got physical memory of 8 gigabyte, and the Windows is Microsoft Windows 10 Home Edition, and it goes on to details of whatever it is, HP Pavilion notebook, and 64-bit resolution, and all those kind of things that you need to know. Anything you need to know, it depends on what kind of job you're doing, and then you need to look at those things. With the other PC or laptop, if I just show you that processor, this is AMD Ryzen 5 2500U, that's the model with Radeon Vegan Mobile GFX 2000 megahertz. Now this one is 2000, the other one is 2200. In comparison, although this is 2200 megahertz, but and both of them are AMD, but because this one is Ryzen 5 and the hard drive is not actual drive like the older versions. This is an SSD or solid state drive. It's a lot faster, although it says 2000 megahertz, and it looks like 200 megahertz less than this other laptop, but it's a lot faster. Believe me, I've tried, and I'm downloading, I'm live streaming, I'm rendering, I'm doing a lot of things, and I know this is a lot faster. All because it doesn't have an actual physical moving object like HDD or hard drive, and instead it has SSD. And it's again 4 cores and 8 logical processors. The memory, physical memory, is 8 gigabytes, same as the other one, but like I said, the memory size doesn't matter to me much because I have an external hard drive and I usually save them there, but the speed and the processor is more important, how fast it does things. And the Windows itself, the system is Windows 10 Home as well on this one, so there's a lot of similarities, but this one is a lot faster for me. That would be the main purpose of buying this one. However, this old laptop, if you like, has a CD drive or DVD drive. It's got the actual drive in it, so you can actually put the CD or DVD in it and play. This one doesn't have that. Most of the new laptops, unless you actually get them built for you or customized for you, they don't have them. They don't come with them. So you have to have an actual separate CD or DVD drive for that. They're just trying to make them smaller and more compact. As you can see, this is more clunkier than this, if you like. It's lighter, thinner, sleeker, and this one is thicker, and it has to be because it's got that CD drive in it. And this one doesn't have that. The number of USB ports, HDMI ports, those kind of things you need to look at if you need them. Graphic, audio, video, inputs, outputs, if you want them, then you have to look at those things. But I don't necessarily need them because I'm using Studio Editor. I'm using Video Studio Editor, and so I don't need most of those things. So that's as far as my laptop. HP is, for me, like I said at the beginning, works well. I haven't had any issues with them. I've had other laptops and they've had other issues. And they didn't last as long as these have lasted for me. My all-in-one printer, scanner, like a proper office printer, if you like. I've chosen Brother. Again, I've had HP, I've had all the other miscellaneous names and brands, and most of them were the ones with little cartridges of different colors of cartridges, and they work if you're only doing you know, small work. It's just for I would say it's just for maybe students and people who don't really, they use it regularly, they use the printer regularly, but they don't really need it that much. And it's fun to have them, and it's easy to move around from one place to another. Now, saying that, I've seen printers and scanners the size of this size, and they actually work, and they're pocket printers, and you just put the paper from this end and it just prints from, and it comes out printed from that end, but you have to keep feeding one paper at a time. I saw that in 1991 in Korea, South Korea, Seoul, when I went there for a business, and it was amazing. And that I haven't seen anything like that still in this country or anywhere else I've traveled to. I haven't seen it in America, I haven't seen it in the UK, and to be honest, I think South Korea, as far as electronic and those kind of gadgets, are far advanced ahead of us here. I saw those wireless earphones that people had then in 1991 that I went there. I don't know how many years before that they had it, I don't know, but it could have been just that year that just came out into the market. But it took the West, if you like, all those many years for that to come out. I blame the EU for it, but however, that's a different thing. So you can see the wireless headphones that came out only a couple of years ago here in the West, in Europe and in America. So the printer, it depends on what kind of job you're doing. I've gone for a Brother all-in-one because I do a lot of scanning. I do homeschooling my children, and so I need to scan their work and file them. I do a lot of that, and I've set it up to do Wi-Fi, but I'm just going back to actual wired. I'm trying to do that, wire up all my house so all my devices are working hardwired rather than wireless, because there's a lot of radiation. Each one of them emit a lot of radiation, EMF radiation, and it's harmful. And I'll tell you about all that in a different video, because this was just a review of my devices that I use. And in that video I'll explain how much radiation is around us, especially if you're using devices like this constantly or regularly, and they're very harmful. And I have a coaster meter, EMF meter if you like, and it measures the amount of radiation around us, which is quite harmful, especially with 5G. So the more wired you are, the better it is as far as radiations, instead of using Wi-Fi. However, at the moment it's Wi-Fi. All I do, for instance, if I want to scan something, I just go to my scanner, just type here scanner, and it just comes up. and I've set it up on both laptops, the same thing, and new scan, and it chooses your printer, which one you want, and you set it, it connects to that, and then it gives you the option. It should give you an option here, yeah, to choose whether you want it from flatbed or feeder. And I'll tell you what that is. Flatbed is when you open this and put the paper here, which you want to scan, and close the lid. A feeder is when you want to actually have a stack of papers, you want to feed it from there. So I'll put it on flatbed, and what type of file you want. You want JPG, BMP, PNG, all the other different types of files. JPG is fine for me. So scan. It's just sent the document, sent the order, the command, and it's scanning, and once it's done, it just appears here on my screen, and you can see one of my child's artwork or paint that she's done, drawing she's done. I've scanned it, and you know, I'll just file it. So that's done. Be filed. As far as the printer goes itself, it doesn't come with those little cartridges. It's got a ribbon cartridge, and so you can change that. The printer I've chosen, first of all, is Brother. I explained that. I didn't go with the other types. If you're using your printer quite regularly, but sometimes you have long gaps. If you're using your printer quite regularly, but you have some long gaps, for instance, sometimes you don't print at all for maybe a few months, and then you start printing again. Or you're using it, for instance, mostly for scanning, for other things, for faxing, or other things, you know, the other features, or copying, those kind of things. But you're not actually using it for printing papers out. Your ink is not used as much, or your ribbon is not used as much. Then I would go for these type of printers, because they don't clog, the nozzles don't get clogged. With those little cartridges that you have, all different colors of them, even if it's black and white, if it's those cartridges with actual liquid colors in it, liquid paint in it, then I wouldn't go for those kind of things, because they get clogged, they dry, and they in the pipes and the tubes all get clogged. I had an HP printer like that, and I hadn't used it for 3 years, and it was almost brand new, but when I came to use it, it was all clogged, it wasn't working, so I had to chuck it out. And that was an all-in-one as well, but it wasn't this big, it was a smaller one. However, this one, these type of printers that come with the ribbon cartridge like that, they're obviously bigger, but they work for a longer period. They're more they're more durable. But they're obviously bigger. They're obviously bigger because of the type of the ribbons and cartridges they use, but they are more resilient and they're more durable. And that's your cartridge compartment, and you can when you're printing, if you're printing things, you can, if you have a stack of papers coming out, you can actually open that to support the papers, because they come out from there, and you feed the papers. You put the stack of papers here, so nice and tidy. Again, you can have papers fed to the scanner like this. One thing I will say about this type of printer, mine is Brother type MFC L27000W. I have no problem. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. It is only black and white. I could go for color, but it's obviously more expensive, and once you finish one cartridge, you have to change all of them. It doesn't work, and you know, even if you're using black and white all the time printing and your black is out, you have to only change the black. But yeah, then the cartridges for the, I didn't go for the colored ones because I don't necessarily need colored printing. Mostly I scan, and scan is colored obviously, but for printing it's just basically black and white, because first of all it's cheaper to run, because I only need to change the black cartridge ribbon, and I don't have the other colors to change, and it's smaller. You know, with the other ones you have a few cartridges there, and it'll be obviously bigger and more expensive. Like I said, it's got a Wi-Fi button. You can set it on. You can just press that, hold it for a few seconds. It'll ask you, it'll prompt you, and you go through the setting and you set it with your modem. There is a button on your modem as well. You have to press at the same. When you press this, you have to press that as well at the same time, and they'll just start communicating. You don't need to put any passwords or anything there. There's a fax option. I've never used that. There's a copier. You can use that. You can put things there instead of scanning. You can copy it and just take it out. And there's other options. I don't tend to use any of those regularly. All I do is mainly printing, scanning, and copying sometimes. And so I said, with the scanner, if you feed it from here, if you feed the papers, the document that you want to scan, you can only scan one-sided. You can print both-sided. If you want to print any document, you can have double-sided printed. It just prints on both sides. But if you're scanning, you can only scan one-sided. So if you have double-sided papers to scan, you either have to scan one set or one way and then scan the other end, or you have to just go one at a time on the flatbed. But with the printer, it prints both sides, double-sided, no problems. It's quite handy for me, and like I said, if you leave the printer for long periods of time without printing, without using the ribbon, it's quite fine, and it doesn't give you any issues. There is no tubing or liquids in it to go dry or destroy the printer. That's all I can say about these things. This is my. By the way, I've noticed. You've noticed probably. I've put the laptops on small boxes. That is so my computer, my laptop, the hard drive, and all the internal device components can breathe better and cool down better. It does make a difference. I've tried it without. When you put that flat on the desktop, on the desk, it gets hotter faster. But this way, it really doesn't even get hot. It doesn't really get hot at all. So it makes a big difference. And I don't even need a fan. I was thinking of putting fans here, little fans to start it, and I can do that. I actually have one ready to put there, but I don't need it because this just does the work for me. And apart from that, it brings it up towards my face, and it's good for my posture as I sit on my chair in front of my laptops, so I'm not hurting my back or my neck. If you're looking down too much or looking up like this, then you'll have neck pain or shoulder pains. So that's another thing. Another thing you might have noticed is these papers I've put here. These are to cover the cameras, and of course some people don't care about those things, but I do, and I don't want any information stolen from me, if you like. And in fact, I'm thinking of putting another piece of paper on this side of the laptop to cover all the stupid, horrible ads I see on the side of my Hotmail account. But at the moment, what I've done, I've kept clicking on those ads to run down their money, those people who are advertising it, so they waste their money. But however, Google finds that out when you're clicking from one IP a lot of times on one ad. First of all, they keep switching the ads up and down, so to see if you're a robot or something is just clicking by mistake, or you have a sticky key on your keyboard or mouse, but if you keep clicking on that, they'll stop showing you those stupid, silly ads. So that's another trick. By the way, I don't tend to use an actual mouse. I use the touchpad on both laptops. I have a Wi-Fi mouse, but I don't use it again. I prefer this touchpad. The touchpad on this one is quite well built. This one is very strange. The feeling of the kind of material used here is very strange, and I don't quite like that. It doesn't give you the right feeling. It doesn't slide as smoothly as this one does. So that's all I have to say about my devices. I hope you enjoyed that. I would definitely recommend this brother MFC L27000W. Very good printer, very solid, very heavy duty or durable all-in-one printer scanner. And also I would recommend any of these HP laptops, whether you go for an actual hard drive laptop with an actual hard drive in it, or SSD, depending on what type of job you do. I'll recommend both of them. I have had no issues with them, and I quite like them. The only reason I have this one is because I want a faster speed rendering my videos. With this one I do a lot of other things, and with this other things. Each one is for a different task. So I definitely would recommend these devices to anyone interested in buying a laptop or a printer.